Good morning, everybody. Lake Station Community Advocate and Educator here. A little rough, getting ready to get prepared for work. However, I wanted to touch on this because, there's an actual committee for the Lake Station referendum. There's literally, they put together an organization or a committee to prove what they say is, well, but we're not lying. But I sure hope that people pay attention to this one because I'm going to disassemble their fear-mongering because on the red portion up top it says that this is what happened if you do vote for the referendum, and the black is if you don't. So feel free to give that a pause, give that a watch, and there's another page here. And here's the other portion. Feel free to pause it, give those a read. And I'm going to break these down as fast as I can, maybe one or two parts. But I want to give everybody a little bit of information. I'm the Lake Station Community Advocate and Educator here. I educate and help residents find some things that are going on that shouldn't be. There's better ways to be doing things for our community and better decision making. And our leaders should be held accountable and transparent. And, while they sit here on this referendum, we're being very transparent. Liars. I'm going to call it out. And let me work this through now. First, I want to go through on the transportation will be eliminated. Now, if everybody remembers correctly, 2012, 2013 in Lake Station, if your child lived within a mile of the high school, they had to walk. And if they lived, I believe it was a half mile or something within the elementary schools, your child had to walk. There was no bus transportation for those students that lived inside those radiuses of the schools. So they toyed with removing this back in 2012, 2013, but the residents complained, and the only thing that happened were just some bus stops were moved to minimize the usage of the school buses. They also had no problem using those buses for Pride Fest, for the city Pride Fest. Now, I'm sorry, I don't know about you, but ideologies like that should not be mixed in with schools. Sorry, and you can throw it under the premise of, it's a safe space. Stop right there. First off, schools should not be involved with ideologies of such. Period. And especially since you're going to use our school buses. Okay, so you're asking us for more money, but yet you're using it for things of such. But my question to the residents would be is, since they're not using school buses 2 days each week, because kids are going to school 3 days a week, what's happening to those other 2 days a week? Where's that finance going for the buses if they're not using them 2 days a week? Now, it says here that they're going to lose outstanding teachers. Now, it's of no surprise that we all know that, regardless of the teachers they have right now and what they've had for quite some time, they let some good ones walk out because they weren't getting the backup and they weren't getting basically the respect that was due to them. So they chose to go elsewhere. Now, I'm going to spit some facts on this because the National Center for Education statistics show that there's a lot of schools in America with this issue. 86% of all schools actually reported these very same challenges. They say that why the teachers are leaving. 83% of them reported trouble being hiring teachers. Okay, so 83% of all schools in America we're having a problem hiring. So this is not like it's secluded to Lake Station schools and, we're struggling and all the other schools around us are doing so great. Wrong, because 86%, like I said, reported the same challenges. 83% of all schools reported trouble hiring teachers. 53% said that their schools are understaffed. Now, that's mainly in some of the very specific areas of like STEM teachers, science teachers, and special education teachers, because nobody really wants to work with those students. Now, here's the crazy thing is 70% of all the schools said that they have too few candidates. Okay, they didn't have not a lot of people putting in applications, lack of qualified candidates to become a teacher. And the SPP data actually shows the mental health, dental care, nutrition, and social work as one of their biggest issues. Which is understandable, but Lake Station's painting it up as, we need to fearmonger these opportunities because this isn't good. We need to fearmonger the teachers and guilt them. But let's just, we'll move on. So the next one is the classes to prepare students for college and careers and college center opportunities. Now, as you read here, it'd be decreased, including the area of the, things like this. Now, I want to say this is one first, any trade union is going to trade their apprentices. Period. Doesn't matter what college degree behind them, they're not going to care. They're going to train you the way they need you to be trained, not what somebody else has done, because it's very specific to that trade. Okay. The other thing is colleges have introductory videos and trainings and courses, which are called Gen Ed courses. And it's basically the very same thing that they did in 12th grade. They just refreshed our memory, and they give them videos on how, on how your funding and how the school loans and things like that work. Come on, we're not stupid to this. Anybody who's ever done a college degree, you remember correctly that your college puts you through these courses, and the stuff that they went through on your education or your academics, your general education there, they refreshed your memories. And this is a great one, decreased counseling and mental health services for the next one. Now, why do they always do this? Department of Education, under certain grants, okay, it's the mental health services grants. And if you look into the SBMH, which is a school-based mental health grant, that's $1.75 million for schools, each one. All they got to do is file the paperwork and meet the criteria. Now, also being Title I school, as Lake Station are, they can use that for counseling and for mental health. So stop fear-mongering residents and parents into, oh my God, they're not going to have any mental health and they're not going to have any. Stop. Take a breath. Calm down. They have had grants specifically for these things that have been mismanaged. Their paperwork from the State Board of Accounts shows differently. I love this one. The loss of instructional assistants. Oh, this is going to be a fun one. First off, they have what's a lot of them as called an ESEA, or a Elementary and Secondary Education Act. You guys can look that up. It's all out there. It provides federal funding for instructional assistants. Okay. But here's my question. What about that mass of instructional assistants you've already hired? And here's what I mean by that. If you don't believe me, well, following professional staff. These are the so-called instructional assistants here, and these are also some teachers. Now, this is the SROs that they hired. They say that they don't have money for security purposes, even though they brag about having brand new security cameras on all over the school and inside. So since they've already hired numerous amounts, and they fearmonger and everybody's saying that, oh, we had to let people go. That's funny, because that was in your school board meetings where you had to hire all those people. And it's not where you had to, you chose to. Now, this is really quirky. They will reduce and eliminate books and Chromebooks. So if you haven't paid attention yet, they're fear-mongering residents and scaring them into, oh my God. They want that fear panic, and they want it fast, and they want it intense, and they want to play off of your emotions and your fear, because they don't want you to really see what's really going on under the table. Now, my question to them is going to be, what happened to that large technology loan that they received? It was like $918,000. Oh, I'm lying. Here you go. That's their levy right there. $918,142, and all of that says specifically for technology. Don't believe me? It's made it very crystal clear that they've gotten technology school loans and common loans and all these things, and it come out to that $918,000. And my question to them would be, why would you waste all of that technology loan to quickly dismiss the books and the Chromebooks into the trash? Yeah, you don't fool me with this one, buddy. And the parents are like, oh my gosh, what are they going to learn on if they don't have books and don't have Chromebooks? Pay attention, folks. You need to kind of rattle and wake up a little bit. Have your coffee and your crumpet, because guess what? They're fear-mongering you. They're scaring you into. They're not going to tell you the things that I'm telling you. That's why I bother them so much, because I like that full transparency. But they're only omitting and, well, not giving you the full story. But stay with me, because I have another half that I have to address. I'm the Lake Station Community Advocate and Educator here. Stay with me for next of part 2.